Have you ever sat down to create your content and suddenly your mind goes blank and you forget whatever it is you're trying to create? You just get confused. You do not even know where to start or how to go about creating your content. You just get confused and you start thinking of new ideas, you start struggling, don't just know what to create. Well, that used to happen to me before because I remember an evening when I was sitting on my own trying to create content. I was just confused. I didn't know the kind of content to create, where to start, or I didn't have a direction, the direction to follow that will help me to create content that will actually make sense. Because it's not just about creating content, it's about creating content with direction. Not just creating anything randomly. You need to create content that follows a particular pattern that's leading somewhere, not just content that's just there to stay without having any particular thing that is doing for you in your life. So that's where the content buckets come in. Today, I create content now without having any issues or feeling overwhelmed or feeling as if to say that I'm confused or I do not know where I'm going, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to go about it by using content buckets. My first content bucket is authority building. In this, you create content to build an authority in your niche. For instance, as a social media manager, when building authority in my content, I try to show that I am the leader in this particular skill that I have. I show that I'm best in what I do and nobody else is better than me. I'm the first and the foremost. Wherever my audience is looking at my content, they know that I'm the best for them to go to and the best and the go to social media manager they should try to work with, inform, and have associations with whenever they want anything content, anything social media. Then secondly, the bucket I go to again is relatability. In this content, I try to relate with my audience, show relatable posts, the journey. For example, I share my story, share my struggles. I'm not just here to post content that will make you feel like, oh, this lady, she's perfect, everything is going well, not no mistakes. No, nothing like that. I share my problems, my shortcomings, the kind of thing that drove me, that kind of thing that made me to go forward. And people relate with it. It's not always about sounding perfect all the time. Sometimes you share the mistakes that you made, the things that made you to go back on this and how you grew from it. Because in this life, you not just win and win, and sometimes you fail. It's okay to fail, and when you fail, you rise up and go ahead and continue trying to win, to make success, and to be successful in every other thing that you are doing. The next content bucket is where I share my values. In this content bucket, I try to share what I know with my audience. I try to give them feedback on how they should go about doing this, achieving this. If they have any problems, I try to share my own insights. Share values, tell them how to go about solving this problem, or share values, giving new topics and giving them introductions into something that they may not know about, something that will be valuable to them, that will help them to scale when they are having their own, when they are doing anything on social media, on how to scale on their business, on their journey as a content creator. The third content bucket is about sharing your proof. Your audience would like to know about your outcome, your results, and how you go about doing this, and your outcome, how you're able to achieve this or achieve that. I like to share my proofs through written content. I write about my clients, how I manage a client's page, or I share proof by writing case studies of content I manage, how I was able to go take this page from this to this, or how I revived a dead page, how I was able to manage different social media accounts, and how and the outcome I saw. I love to share my challenges as well because in managing social media accounts, I come across accounts that have very funny problems because a client will not just come to you with their page and you go ahead and start creating content without first of all figuring out what the real problem is. In figuring out that problem, that's where the main work lies as a social media manager. You find out the main problem your client is facing and find out the best way to solve their problem. The next content bucket I'm going to be talking about is belief shifting. In this content bucket, you try to shift the belief of your audience or whatever it is that they believed in. You try to shift them and show them your own perspective and how they should not believe in whatever it is that they used to believe in. For example, you can make controversial posts about something that you know that is always common on social media. Because maybe for instance, people believe that if your account or if your page is getting more views, then it's the best page, it's getting a lot of engagement, then it's the best page. Now I'm sharing my own controversial content by telling you that it's not true. There are some pages that will have few number of views and yet they're doing well, making conversions, and they're building demand, not just creating content randomly. Watch my previous content and find out more. I'm going to be leaving the link in the description. Now, after creating this content bucket, it will help you to know exactly how to position your content, how to create your content, not just creating content randomly or without any purpose. If you have had similar problems creating content and you find out that if you want to create content, you end up going blank and not remember whatever it is that you want to do or whatever it is that you have in mind of creating, and your mind just goes blank. You don't know how to go about having a good content direction, not just putting out any random thing out there. Make sure you share your experience in the comments. Let others that had similar experiences or others that do not know about it learn from your experience and let them hear from your perspective. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more information regarding social media and writing. And do not forget to look at the channel description to find out exactly more of what this channel is about.